All right, everybody, welcome to your OGFFL Week 12 video show. I'm, of course, your host, your commissioner, but most importantly, your current and seems only 1 year champion, Mr. Robert Shroud. Welcome, everybody. I'd like to say first, congratulations to Gio for his third high score in 4 weeks. That's right. He's got 3 high scores in 4 weeks. That puts him at 3 total for the year. To go over who's got high scores so far this year, we got Gio at 3, Alex twice, Richard Mark twice, Joe once, Matt once, and myself once. Sad to say that I'm losing a video watcher this week, as Matt, our friend Matt, is now down south in Seagirt getting training done for his correctional program. But congratulations on Matt. It's a big step for you. But I got to do the show pretty quick tonight. It is already 10:30, and I got to be up in the morning. I was doing a lot of trouble, having trouble trying to get this computer to work with sound. I finally got it to work, so here we go. Another big show, news and notes, Week 11 rankings. Who's hot, who's not again. The last 4 weeks, the Ultimate Team lineup, Ultimate Team update. Fantasy disappointments. Last week we had the MVP so far this season. This week we'll go with the disappointments. And then everyone's favorite, the Blazing 3 picks. I was hoping to be able to go through and go back and look at the trades, see how teams would have been without doing the trade and doing with the trade. Their team would have been better off, worse off. See that might be another video coming up maybe. Hoping next week I'll be able to do that. I have a little more time to get this prepped and ready to go. But news and notes, teams on bye, nobody. Which surprised me because we still have Tennessee to go on bye. And I think there's another team that's on bye next week with Tennessee. But Tennessee on bye not until next week. Nobody on bye this week. Let's look at the positions. Running backs. Procise out until the postseason. Q Bernard, torn ACL. Jeremy Hill's going to have a huge workload now. Sean McCoy, dislocated thumb. Who knows if he's going to play this week? It's up in the air. Look out for Mike Gillisley. Amir Abdullah had a positive checkup this week. He could return in a couple weeks. Christine Michael is expected to play for the Packers this week. And could AP return in mid-December? That is what he's saying. That's what the team is possibly saying. But even if he returns, doesn't look as a good matchup. Didn't look good before he got hurt. He's coming off a surgery. The offensive line looks like crap. Is he a good pickup? Potentially for a late postseason run for fantasy teams. But nobody really knows. Wide receivers. Stephon Diggs, no practice. Watch out for him. He's got I think they have a Thursday game against Detroit. Travis Benjamin practiced this week after missing the game before the bye week. Sammy Watkins is iffy to return this week. Even if he does, he's going to be minimal snaps. Players are saying he's going to play. Coach says he's hoping to play. I bet the docs are saying he's not going to play because he's barely practiced. We'll look out for that. Robert Woods, he is doubtful this week. And A.J. Green is definitely out this week with a hamstring strain. They may shut him down rest of season if they lose this week because they would be out of playoff contention. Quarterbacks, big QB news. Andrew Luck has a concussion. He's in the concussion protocol. He has a concussion. Now my question is, he played the whole game. At what point did he have that concussion, and why did they not take him out of the game? They say, hey, we're looking out for concussions. We're looking at player safety. This dude played with a concussion in the game. He's now in concussion protocol. When did that happen? How long did he play? It's not a good look for the NFL. Jay Cutler could be out for the rest of the season with a torn labrum in his shoulder. And Ryan Fitzpatrick and Josh McCown will start for their respective teams. So watch out if you have offensive players on those teams. And of course, tight end Rob Gronkowski, the big question mark this week. Is he going to play? Is he not going to play? Even if he plays, Martellus Bennett does not look good. He had one catch for like 10 yards last week. Horrendous. What a great opportunity against San Francisco last week. And Tom Brady throws for 4 touchdowns. None of them to Martellus Bennett. Now, here we go. It's your favorite. Well, not your favorite. Your second favorite part of the video. This is your Week 11 rankings. That's right. So as we see here, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new number 1. That's right. Alex taken away from his top spot. Rich and Mark, 2 good weeks in a row, moving yourselves up to the number 1 spot in the rankings. Alex with 2 so-so weeks, down 1 spot to second. I stay in the top 3, down 1 spot to third. And as you see, George moving up his way to 9th. Everybody else kind of moving up and down one spot or staying the same besides Ed moving down to 11. To the 11th position there, Ed moving down to 11. So as you guys go back and pause, as you see, not a lot of movement, cover up and downs. But so you got a new top 6. Matt actually dropping down for a couple weeks in a row now. He's down now into 7th position out of the top 6. Andrew back into the 6th. Gio's been moving up and up and up and up for the past couple of weeks now. He's into the 4th. He's into the 4th spot, but really no big news. I mean, Miguel still in the 10th position in the rankings. So let's move on. We're going quick here. We're going real quick. We are going to who's hot, who's not. Last 4 weeks. Let's put it up. All right, here it is. Your new #1 hottest team out there the last 4 weeks, Gio. And how could he not be with 3 #1 finishes with high score out of 4 weeks. Now this one other week was basically second to last place, but with 3 #1s in the last 4 weeks with 125 points per game, almost 126. Gio is your new hottest team of the league. So again, guys, go back and pause that. It's pretty cool. So as you see, Gio is your new #1 for who's the hottest team. #2 hottest team in the league right now is Andrew, averaging about 108.75 points per game. And Joe is actually your 3rd hottest team in the league right now in the last 4 weeks, having 27 points with 106 points per game. Rounding out 4 through 9, the middle of the pack, guys. You got myself at 26 with 108 points per game. Ramiro at 24. Both of us, we were in the top 3 for a while there. Rich and Mark at 23, Miguel at 22, all of us averaging over 100 points per game. Then you get to the guys like this, George. Last 4 weeks, only 19 wins or points, about 97 points per game. Here's a surprise: Alex's team is coming down to earth a little bit. Only 18 points the last 4 weeks. With his team's only averaging 95.06. Then you got our coldest teams. You got some typical guys like Ramazan down there. Sorry about that, Ramazan, but you're only 18 wins in the last 4 weeks, but averaging 88 points per game. But doesn't matter because you beat me this week. Because yes, your team showed up and scored like 20 points over, almost 20 points over what it was originally projected, and my team shit the bed. Then you got Matt, who is at 13 points in the last 4 weeks. His team is really dipping down right now, averaging only 89 points per game. And then you got our buddy Ed, with coldest team in the league at the moment with 87 points. You literally cannot catch a break with your team. Love the new nickname, the new name of the team. And then we got our ultimate lineup, guys. So ultimate lineup for week 11 was the lowest so far this season at 94.48 points per game. It was a low scoring week in fantasy, our lowest as a group, as a total whole. With everybody's score put together, was the lowest of the year. But 94.48 was the number you were looking for to hopefully get a win. And that would have got you wins this week. If I got 94.48, that would have got a win. But this week we had 5 winners reach that total. Nobody else in the league did. Like I said, it was a very low scoring week. But 5 teams right now are averaging over the season average for 102.3 with the ultimate lineup. And actually, Matt was in it. He now moves out of it, and somebody moved in. Who was it? Let's see. Alex stays there at 107 points per game. Rich and Mark stays in there at 110 points per game. Gio stays in at 109, actually almost 110 points per game as well. I stay in there 106 points per game. And our new guy in here, Joey Gingerelli, with 105.16 points per game, averaging over the season average of the ultimate lineup of 102.3 points per game. Like I said, week 11 had 5 winners average over the ultimate lineup. And just to look at who's exceeded the ultimate lineup every single week, how many weeks? You got Richard, Mark, and Alex all at the top with 8. Myself and Gio with 7. Joe and Matt and Andrew have done it 6 times. I mean, 6 times you guys have outdone what the ultimate lineup would have been. Ramiro and George each have 5. Miguel has 4. Ed has 3. And Ramazan sticking with your one that you got last week. Now, let's go to some cool little thing we did. Last week we did the fantasy MVPs. Who has dominated so far with great consistency? Who has finished in the top 12 most times in each position? Now we're looking at our fantasy disappointments. Who drafted in high positions, has failed us in our fantasy teams. Quarterback, this one was kind of easy. This guy was drafted in round 5, and he only has 2 top 12 finishes so far this year. And that is our man, Carson Palmer, one of the highest ranked quarterbacks coming into this year. He only has 2 top 12 finishes so far this year. Wide receiver, we got a round 1 guy and a round 2 guy. A round 2 guy, Alshon Jeffrey. And now I kept these players who excuse me. I kept players who were out based on injury out of the equation. Players who have just completely disappointed with lack of injury. Guys like Alshon Jeffrey. Now, he's been suspended. I'm taking that into account. You get suspended, that sucks. He hasn't really been injured this year. He's just been crappy. 0 times has he finished as a top 12 wide receiver this year, and he was drafted in round 2. You expect a little more from that. Then you got our boy DeAndre Hopkins, drafted in round 1. He's got a whopping 1 top 12 finish this year, which would make him a number 1 wide receiver for only 1 week. So our wide receivers are DeAndre Hopkins and Alshon Jeffrey. Our other fantasy disappointments for running backs. We have 2 players that are drafted in round 1. Our man Lamar Miller, who just got his 2nd top 12 finish this week. And we got our man Todd Gurley, who just got his 3rd top 12 finish this week. That's right. Their 2nd and their 3rd top 12 finishes this week at running back position that when they were drafted in round 1. Incredible. Really incredible. Our tight end disappointment this year is Jordan Reed. He has 3 top 12 finishes in the tight end position, only 3 out of 11 weeks now so far. He was drafted in round 5 by yours truly. 1 pick before the great Greg Olsen, who's your fantasy MVP. So that was a really great pick by me. And then your kicker, we're going to go with Stephen Gostkowski just because he's been picked in most leagues, number 1 kicker of overall. And he only has 2 top 12 finishes this year. Defense, none, because our Denver and Seattle picks that were picked early, those guys are kind of dominating. They're all tied with the most top 12 finishes. So our fantasy disappointments this year. Sorry, guys, got a little cotton mouth here talking so much. Our fantasy disappointments: QB Carson Palmer, wide receivers of DeAndre Hopkins and Alshon Jeffrey, running backs Lamar Miller and Todd Gurley, tight end Jordan Reed, and kicker Stephen Gostkowski. Now we go to your favorite time of the video, our blazing 3 picks. Last week, another 2-1 week. I'm back up to 12-12 on this season. I'm going to go really, really quick with these picks, guys. I'm not really going into much depth analysis in the matchups. I'm kind of just going to open the app. I want to see what's going on. Let's go. Here we go. Let's go. Here we go. Live. Here we go. This is live blazing 3 pick action right here. Let's go in a matchup I like. How about Miguel versus Ramiro? Ramiro, your team's been pretty solid so far. You got Cam going against Oakland, but you also got Big Ben Thursday night going against an Indy team that maybe without Andrew Luck. Let's see. Allen Robinson's doing pretty well. Latavius Murray. Come on, man. Can they get him some more touches? What the hell? You have a stud back there in your backfield, and you give him 6 rushes in the first 3 quarters. And I gave him 6 in the 4th quarter, but you got to get him to touch the ball. He's got to touch the ball 18 to 22 times per game minimum. The guy's a stud. Lamar Miller finally playing well. Garrett Blunt playing well. Michael Thomas kind of disappointed. Now, Dante Moncrief, watch out for him if Andrew Luck's out. Hopefully, Rob Gronkowski plays for you. Jamison Crowder's been a stud. You can have him come in. You know what? I'm going to go with the upset this game. And I'm going to go Ramiro with the win over Miguel. Pick number 2. We're going to go with another tough matchup here. We're going to go with Andrew versus Joe. Ooh, Joe's team gets Julio Jones back this week. Uh-oh, Andrew. You better watch out, man. And you need a victory. Actually, both teams need a victory here. So this is a very, very fun matchup. Of course, you got Russell Wilson, who's been killing it so far. He's back from injury. He looks very healthy. Aaron Rodgers has been the number 1 quarterback in the last couple of weeks. He's been dominant, even though the team sucks. Frank Gore, you're welcome for him. Brandon Cooks, you're welcome for him. They're both playing solid. Now, they don't have a lot of top 12 finishes, but you don't need that. You just need solid play from those guys. Antonio Gates has a great fantasy schedule coming up the rest of the year. Doug Martin returns for you after that trade. Tevin Coleman on your bench, he returns. Joe Carlos Hyde is a good matchup, but so is Rashad Jennings. DeMarco Murray's been killing it. Oof. This is a tough one. This is a very, very tough one. But you know what? I got to go with Joe. He's projected a massive amount of points, and I think Joe has a great chance this week to get his second high score of the year. So I'm going to go Joe over Andrew. And the final matchup of the week, I'm going to go with a big matchup for this one guy who needs a win this week because his team's been very downhill the last couple of weeks. I'm going to go with Alex versus Matt. And actually, Alex's team's been going down too, but Matt's team's really sliding. Let's look this over. He's got Andrew Luck in his lineup, who's obviously going to be out for Thursday. There's no way he's going to be able to come play. So Matt's got it, but he's got Matt Ryan on his bench, so that's a pretty solid backup right there for Matt. He's going to be averaging over 100 points going into this matchup. Emmanuel Sanders on your bench, you want to get him in there, which he will. I think he's got his buddy taking over his team because he didn't want me to take it over because he didn't want you guys to think I was doing two teams, whatever that is. DeAndre Hopkins, he kind of stinks. Let's look at Alex's team. Breeze going to be dominant against that LA team at home. He's always dominant at home. AJ Green out for this week, of course. You want to get him out of your lineup. You have Devontae Adams on your bench. You can put him in there. Actually, probably the only guy you can put in there. Running backs are solid. McCoy plays. Who knows? Man, you have a lot of questions on your team right now, Alex. How dominant it used to be. You know what? I think Matt's going to come out with the victory here. I think even though you both have a lot of question marks, even if you make it to the playoffs, who knows what you can do. Your team needs to start picking it back up. It's going to be a close matchup, low-scoring close matchup, but I got Matt for the victory. So we've got Matt for the victory. I've got Joe for the victory, and I've got Ramiro for the victory over Miguel. So that's it, guys. Your Blazing 3 picks. Thank you for watching. Everybody have a great night. Next week's going to have an even better show. I'm hoping to look again at those trades, see who won, see who lost, look back. It's a lot of fun. That's it for me, fellas. Have a great night, and I'll see you all soon.